Felt like progress in recent weeks. Did the Arkansas game expose anything that surprised you or reinforced something that you've been stressing all season?
Not really. I mean, it's a tough place to win up there. We know that. I mean, for the most part, we've won all the games in the league that on paper you're supposed to win, and then we stole about 3 or 4 that we weren't supposed to win. On paper, right? So like, our SEC play has been unbelievable. Like, I mean, it's just been top notch in the SEC for, just for where you are, our team coming together, and that's just when you go to Bud Walton Arena. You're going to have to play an A-plus game, shoot it lights out, but we found ourselves there under the 10-minute mark, down 4 twice at the free throw line one of those times, and they made some great plays late. So, again, the game could swing either way on the neutral side, or if you had them at home. But I'm pleased with where we are, and if you told me we'd be in this spot before SEC play started right now, I'd say, all right, we got what we want right in front of us. So now let's continue to try to play good basketball.
Coaches have talked about kind of the challenges of playing that Wednesday late night game, playing Saturday, and I'm curious, you guys have, it's 3 weeks in a row that y'all have had the Wednesday, Saturday, are you guys kind of used to that kind of schedule at this point now?
Well, the good thing is it's at home. So, we're back at home. They had to play one. It wasn't like they had the Tuesday game. They had a Wednesday game that was, I think, 6 o'clock, I believe. So, I'd much rather be at home. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be amped to play in this one. What you don't like is when you play a team that's Tuesday Tuesday at home or Tuesday on the road, and they get the Saturday game. They're Tuesday earlier, and you're Wednesday late, and then you got to go on the road. That's pretty tough. We felt that at Vanderbilt. Like I could feel it. I'd heard about it, but I could feel it. South Carolina, we were at home. I didn't feel it as much. Yeah.
Bucky, I know you've talked about how starting lineups don't really matter, but with how well Zach's been playing, are you tempted at all to put him in there or maybe even give him more minutes than he's already getting?
Yeah, I think the thing is just minutes, right? I mean, for me, it doesn't matter lineup-wise, but obviously he's got to get on the floor. He's been playing good basketball. Whatever that means, for me, that doesn't necessarily mean starting, but you're 100% right. We want to get our players that are playing really well on the floor, and he's a matchup problem right now, and he's playing with a lot of confidence.
And when y'all got him, he said he got a medical red shirt last year, so he'll have another year.
Yep.
How great is that to know, like, he's somebody that could come back and be a key piece next year?
I think it's great. I mean, I think the way he's playing, and for Shonk, he's playing well, and we get played out of our guards this season. I mean, that's just a big addition with the level he's playing at. And he's only going to get better. We've always kind of had players in that position. If you went back and looked at even our teams at Samford, that may have not been great statistically at other places, that really flourished in the way we play, particularly therefore that can shoot the ball. So I think like he's got a chance if he does it right to finish this season strong, but also just pick up right where he left off next season.
Had a chance to talk with Rylan about his love for analytics and basketball numbers and whatnot. What does it do for you guys to have a guy like that maybe understands kind of the deeper meaning behind some things and can bring that to the court and to the table?
Yeah, I like coaching Rylan. He's analytical. He's one of these guys you got to explain the why to him, and I think if you can explain the why to him, like he totally gets it. He's been just a joy to coach. I like Rylan a lot. Part of coaching is kind of understanding what makes a player go and what they need. And I understand him. Like, it's different. There's a little bit of me and him and vice versa. Like, I understand what's going on there. And so once he knows the why, he's good. That's why he knows all these analytics, because, like, that's the why behind a lot of this stuff.
With him having been at Alabama for a couple of seasons, that's something that they really impress on their program. Did you expect that he would have some of that coming in, and maybe when did you realize that was something that he kind of really had a care or passion about?
Well, I talked to him during the recruiting process, and I kind of could tell what it was, and I could just tell the way that his mind worked, and even in his moments where it's like, it just even you can see him sometimes when he's upset about a call that he's trying to get over. He's just trying to figure out the why. That's what's going on. It's not like he called himself, but he just got to know why. It's an itch to him. And, that's what he's got to figure out. And you don't always get an answer why in the middle of a game. So it's just not always going to happen. But once he understands the why, sometimes he's got to come out and think about that one and get his mind around that one, and then he's good to go. Yeah.
Rashawn said that for Texas' sake, he hopes they double team him, and then Zach said you guys hope that you get Texas at their best. How much do you love just that uber competitiveness from this group?
It's great. I mean, I hope Texas plays the worst they've ever played in here tomorrow, but I like that from our guys. But no, I mean, it is what it is. It's a good game. They're really well coached. They got really good players. I mean, they got a lot of people talking about when their guys been a top 10 pick. So, guys shouldn't take it anything other than this would be a game that if we play well, come down to the final possession of the game. And so, I mean, they're going to play well. I mean, everybody knows what time of year it is. Everybody knows what it is. So, we got to play well.
That was kind of a vague, broad question, but just how important do you think rivalries are for college basketball, specifically like long-standing home-and-home type rivalries?
Yeah, I think anything that can bring out the fans and the passion, and particularly in places like, let's call it what it is, we're in Texas, or we're not in, this isn't, Alabama's actually the same way, was what I was going to say. Football country, right? And so, whatever there is that brings out the passion of fans, I think is great, and that's what you want. That's what you want. And I thought it was a great crowd at their place. Should be a great crowd here tomorrow, and two really good teams, two tournament teams in my opinion. So that's makes it fun.
When you beat a mirror opponent on the road earlier in the year, what's the mentality like for the team, knowing that you're going to get that best shot, trying to take one back?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's an analytical study that teams that are down at half, one or two, actually have a greater chance of winning the game than a team that's up by one or two, because the psychology of it. It's like, hey, we got to play not to lose. We got to play to win instead of playing not to lose. So I think the most important thing in this is we got to go play to win. This ain't, it's not, look, I want to be clear with this, with everybody. Our team has played awesome in SEC play. Anyone that doesn't get that doesn't understand the totality of putting this group together, what they were up against, and how well they've done. This group should be saluted for being in this position. Okay? Now, having said that, this is not a game that, hey, well, man, I hope we don't lose this. How could that happen? This is a game where it's we might be able to win this one. We can win this game. What a great story that would be. Man, to get to 10 wins in the SEC League play with 2 to go, from a bunch of guys that came together and, late to the portal that said, hey, man, we don't know any of y'all, but let's try to do something. You kidding me? Anyone that doesn't, it's well, I don't know how we've ever lost a game. They don't get it, right? This is a great spot we're in, and we got to take advantage of it by playing great. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, man, okay, we're still in a great spot. We just got to keep going, and we got to have that positive mindset going forward about a great opportunity. And instead of let's hang on for dear life here, that's really not what it is, right? That's not what it is. If we just came off, 3 national championships and we brought the whole team back, then we'd be sitting here oh man, hold on for dear life. This is the time to attack. This is the time to embrace this. This is the time to say we got an opportunity to do something really great. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. And that's got to be our mindset.
You mentioned,
You got it.
you mentioned 10 wins. You've kind of maintained all throughout, December and January and February, that 10 wins is kind of the mark you feel like this team needs to get to have a conversation about being in the NCAA tournament. What is this team's mindset as you've got a bunch of guys on this team who are looking to get back, and then there's players like Rashawn and Marcus who are trying to get to their first? Are there at all conversations about, we may be one win away from punching our ticket to March Madness?
Well, I think the thing, I talked to those guys the other day and last night, and really, during the course of the season, you want total buy-in and lock-in. Is that realistic? That every practice is going to feel like the first practice? Probably not, right? You're just going to have some of those days where it's man, it's a cold day. We've been at this a while. I told them, look, this next week of the season, that you put yourself in an incredible opportunity that a lot of people never thought you'd be in, is going to determine a lot. Can we lock in for 1 week? Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. Can we go to bed at the right time? Can we eat the right stuff? Can we treat every practice like it's the last? For 1 week. For 1 week. 7 days. Can we do that? Because what happens is, a lot of times you get this part of the season, and players right now that are approaching March are dreaming about the off season. But yet when you're in the off season, you're only dreaming about March. You're only dreaming about March, and you got that ball in your hand late. Don't ever forget that. And here we are with the chance we can lock in for one week. A lot of your dreams about to come true. So let's just put it all out there and have no regrets. And that was our message to those players. And I think they're ready to roll.
With Josh and Pop in particular, what have maybe been some of the things you guys have been working with them to try and get a little more production and tap into the depth for guys like Marcus or Jakari?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the thing is we got to play aggressive basketball, but we got to play tight with the basketball. As you saw the Arkansas game, it's amazing that we found ourselves in a 4-point game at the free throw line to cut it to 3. Now, we cut it we missed a free throw, foul, and give them 2 free throws. We come down, miss 2 free throws after that, foul, and give them 2 more free throws. Then we miss a free throw, and they go coast to coast and lay it up. So we had an 11-point swing at the free throw line. But my point is, the fact that we're even in that position on the road at Arkansas versus a potential Final Four team, who we can beat. I promise you we can beat those guys in, neutral or whatnot. And I honestly thought we were going to win up there. But while we were in that hole was because we had too many turnovers the first half. You cannot play against these teams with these athletes and come down and hand them the ball to ignite their break. And so they had a lot of fast break points that it wasn't like they just got a rebound and win a lot of times. It was just we literally turned the ball over. So, but then you also can't be on the other side of that where it's like you're playing not to turn it over because now you're not being aggressive. So we got to be able to play aggressive and tight with the ball. And both those guys are capable of doing it. They're just going to have to do it consistently.
To your point about the fouls, just going back to Zach for all the greatness he's been doing in scoring, just what's the balance there too with him playing defense without fouling at the rate that maybe he has been lately?
Well, the first thing that I told him and we showed the clip was after you make a 3 to cut it to 5, you don't need to be celebrating on the other end of the floor because we trapped. And so we should have had a steal there to go dunk it and cut it to 3. And that's why we were late getting up there and we run into him and we foul in that spot. Our emphasis to our team yesterday, we just showed all our bad foul clips. Like, I mean, we're undersized and we're going to have some more fouls than other teams because we have to fight. But we got to eliminate the dumb fouls where it's just like we're right there. And yesterday we're in a 4-point game and they get the rebound and we have 3 guys swarm the ball on the rebound and just I don't even know if it was a foul or not, but when refs see it, they may call it. We just got to avoid some of those. And that was the emphasis of what we talked about. Around the cup, man, we got to live sometimes. We're not going to, we're small, we're going to have to live, but we got to avoid some of those. Now, I would like it, if that happens to us, I would like to get the free throw line a little bit as well, though.
When you get to the end of the season, you talk about every game is kind of a tournament game. Are you tempted at all to tighten up the bench, the rotations, maybe less guys because you're at the end, or do you still, with the system, need to go 10, 11 guys deep? Yeah,
you can go 9 deep. I mean, for us, our strength has been our depth, but I think with our group, I think the strength of our team, with the exception of Sean, is playing about 31 minutes in a lot of these league games. The strength of our team and why I think we've been successful, even when we played against really good rosters, has been that we're not married to a group, right? If we were married to a group, Zach Clements wouldn't have had the opportunities he's had. You see what I'm saying? And I think that when you have a team like ours, that there's not a ton of separation. We just kind of go with whatever night that person's is, and then we'll start riding them as the game goes along. So I wouldn't necessarily say, are we going to cut it from, 10 deep to 9 to 8? What I would say would be, will some players' minutes increase? Absolutely. Like, I don't think that it's going to affect the game too much in the first half when we're filling that thing out, like who's going to have the impact in this one right here. If not, then Jamie may have not been able to help win the game for us at Texas. But you'll see as we go along, as we've seen all league play compared to non-league play, guys creeping up that 30-minute mark here down the stretch.
You go ahead.
How have y'all changed the most since that first matchup against Texas?
we've just been in more wars, I would say. Like, we've been in more wars. Like, we've played we went on a little losing streak there where we were dogs in about every single game, but maybe not the Missouri game, but we put an upset at Georgia. And people, what's going on? I mean, or do we need to change who we're playing? Guys, we just played against a very tough road there, okay? We hadn't gone through that before the first time. We played against look, last game we played against, how many NBA players does Arkansas have? Right? A lot. So we got to play against some elite talent, right? Some elite talent who I think we can beat. So now coming back around, our guys are more seasoned. They've seen it. They've seen not just good players. They've seen great players and elite players. And they got to take all those experiences to realize what they can and can't get away with, as opposed to where we hadn't played the national champions, Florida, yet. We've gone through that more, and so it should make you better and better.
How's Jamie doing, and do you expect him to be available tomorrow?
He should be. He had a little ankle issue going on that he hindered him last game a little bit, but he should be good to go. He's moving okay today, but we're gonna need him at some point.
Hoping he can bring that edge and the dunks he did in Austin, maybe.
I hope he could bring that every game. I'd love to see that.
And then, Coach, what would a win in this rivalry at this point of the season mean for this team?
Well, just any SEC win right now is a big win. It's great for the fans, and I know what it is. I know that fans are passionate about this game. I'm passionate. I'm passionate about every game. I like making our fans happy. I love that. Like, it makes me happy because I want our fans walking away from here. But that's in every single game. So I don't think you can put any more pressure on one game than another, because then you got to ask yourself, like, when it's like this is a big game, what the heck were you doing in the other games, right? I think for Florida, our guys were really amped up, and they needed to calm the heck down, right? They're like super amped up, like, playing off too much emotion and not intensity. And I think we came out there and we shot a great percentage to start the game, 1 for 27 from the field. It's fantastic. So, we need to make sure that we, calm the heck down, play off intensity, don't play off emotion, because that's what matters the most, right? And that way you feel better the next day, because usually it comes out and you're successful in that moment.